Hi, friends and family. I just wanted to pop on here and just give a quick reflection on this full moon we just had in Aquarius, opposing the sun in Leo, and just how I was processing it and what that means with the energy as it transits my own individual chart, but then also the chart of the collective energies that, because we're all as self. So I know that if I'm feeling these currents of energies in these particular ways, there's got to be some of you out there that are on this vibrational stream, that are on this energy flow, if you will, that might also be feeling these expressions in this way. So I just wanted to share authentically just kind of this opposing energy that I was really having to face within myself, about really tapping into the frequency of fear, and fear versus creation, or fear in creations, and this whole survival mode frequency that we are all experiencing right now. This is a tough time in humanity's collective consciousness, really focusing in on our fears and our survival mode and our ability to create, and create from a space of authenticity. I think it's interesting, as I was in reflection, when we talk about authenticity, we talk about, we don't act authentically, you be authentic, right? So there's this whole collaboration between action and being, between the doingness and the beingness. And with Aquarius and Leo, Leo right now, the sun is shining on us to create in our own authentic voice, in our own unique expressions and ways. But what's coming up to conflict, which is the opposing forces Aquarius, is that we have all made agreements in this realm, in our societies, that to be of service, there is a cost, right? So we have to show up for each other and ourselves to earn a living, to pay for these resources, food, water, housing, things of that nature, basic fundamental needs that we all need. And so what I was feeling within this energy formed within myself was this really the opposing energy, the opposing forces within, and really coming to this place of honesty about how pissed off I am that we need to, sometimes prostitute ourselves or do things that goes against what we want to create to survive, to earn this money, to live, to just be safe, to have a roof over your head, or to have food on the table. This Leo energy, these opposing forces, this full moon was really revealing to me how, as an entrepreneur and as somebody that's stepping out into the world and sharing expressions with the collective, there's a certain vulnerability and an unknown that is happening. And I'm really facing the fear of survival. It's like, man, how am I going to do this? How am I going to pay my bills? How am I going to pay my car payment? How am I going to do these things without prostituting myself, without going out there and having to earn or do things that are against my own values, right? This is also Taurus. A lot of us, and this is what's interesting. There's realms of thought, right? Like, well, you got to do what you got to do as an entrepreneur to make it and to pay the bills and survive. But Uranus within me, also in Taurus, is like, no, fuck that. Why do I have to do that? Why do I have to go and prostitute myself and do something I don't want to do? And there's nothing wrong with Uber drivers, and there's nothing wrong with things of that nature. I think, there's a time and a space for everything if you enjoy doing that. But why can't we set ourselves up in this society where we get to pay or get paid to be ourselves, to do what we love to do, to create from an authentic space, from our own unique creations, that which we just are here to contribute, from our own sacred space, our own. So this is the conflict that's I feel happening within me. And I know some of you may be feeling that, especially if you're trying to break away from this matrix that we've created, this indoctrination program where, it's like fight or flight. You have to survive, survival of the fittest. Only the strong will survive, all that bullshit. That to me, it just doesn't make sense anymore, because there's so many resources we have in this world. There's so much money. We can really take care of each other, and we can really grow, and we can connect, and we can nurture each other by being ourselves if we choose to do that. If we choose to live in this consciousness where all is self, that there is nothing outside of me, that it's not me, that when I help my neighbor, I help myself. And also when I come from my authentic, unique expression, I am helping the other, because then I'm showing what that means to really be authentic. And no matter what your creations are, if you are a crafts person, right? You're creating a painting, or you're creating a podcast, or you're creating a business, or you're creating a tapestry, or whatever it is. Leo right now is just shining the light on what we need to create. Because if we don't create from our authentic voice, Uranus, Taurus, our own unique expressions, then this is where we're going to feel the vibration and the frequency of anxiety, of depression, of that fight or flight. And so there's this inner conflict right now happening of like all of us, I feel on some level, wherever this is happening in your chart, that's going to be, your own for you to tap into. But for me, this is happening between Uranus right now, or Aquarius rather, is happening in my first house, and Leo is happening in my seventh house. And I'm looking at my progress chart. In astrology, just a little backtrack, astrology, our charts also evolve as we do. So the progression, or the progress chart, is an opportunity for you to look to see where the planets have moved to since you have been born, and what those planetary influences are affecting you now, rather than your natal chart when you were born and what maybe the blueprint you came into. Well, now your chart has evolved. So my chart has evolved to where I used to be a Sagittarius rising. Now, where I am based on longitude, latitude here in North Carolina, I actually have Aquarius rising, right? So I'm actually here to learn Aquarius. I'm here to learn to be in service to the collective. How? Opposition, Leo, Sun, by shining my light into my relationships with my own unique expressions, my own creations. So whether that's podcasting, whether that's sharing videos, it's building content, right? I call myself a content creator, learning to really create from that content space, so that my authentic voice can come through. And I know a lot of us are moving towards that frequency, but how do you do that when we're facing fear of survival? Like, how do you be authentic when you're scared? When you're like, shit, I don't know how I'm going to pay this bill. I don't know how I'm going to, take care of my family, take care of myself. These are big collective questions that we're reaching this point, this level where it's almost like a boiling pot has boiled over and the lid is on it. And now the lid is like rumbling because there's all this boiling energy that's erupting and it's kind of spewing out, and it's causing this dissonance, this disruption in our nervous system. It's causing disruption in our sleep, in our relationships, our relationship to ourselves. It's causing disruption in our creations. So it's been really the point of focus, Mercury and Virgo. Take care of yourself. Anchor into your routine, right? Virgo right now, I'm so grateful that there's actually this approaching trine energy with Virgo and Uranus and Mars and the North Node saying, hey, you can get through this transit. You can get through this fight or flight survival mode frequency if you can create from a space and be consistent with your creations. Like, have the eye on the prize, right? You know that this is what you want to do. This is where you want to go. You've got to fight your own insecurities. You've got to fight your own self-sabotaging frequencies, your own fears, to push through to the next realm, to the next chapter, and to get you to that space where you can start generating current and start being your authentic self and getting paid for it, generating currencies, values, Taurus, money, right? So now Venus has just turned into Leo, and it was in Cancer, which was about the survival and the security, but in Leo, it's about creation. So we're magnetizing our creative life force, but there still might be this push-pull, especially with this opposition right now with the Sun opposing Saturn and Aquarius. It's like, how can I survive being me? How can I survive just doing what I love to do? And like I said, there's some of us that out there that, okay, and it's kind of like a game in a way. I'm looking at this as like a game because Leo's very playful, right? So it's helping me navigate my anxiety and my anxiousness and my own self-sabotaging. It's like, okay, how can I treat this as a game of life? And how can I still maneuver my life and do what I love to do and get paid for it and create from that authentic space no matter what. Well, it's about, for me, using your resources, reaching out to community, reaching out to friends and family who are also in this creative flow, who have similar values, Taurus, who also see the value in just being ourselves. And we are done with this slavery program, this slavery of the mind, this imprisoned that has been created within our own minds, Mercury. Virgo, it's like, how can we stay steadfast in what we want to create and be consistent, show up in our practice, how we take care of ourselves. So for those of you out there who may be experiencing anxiety, fear, depression, this fight or flight frequency, who want to create, I would just encourage you, and what I'm being shown from my own guides and from the planetary systems as they are speaking to me, as I'm opening up this connection point within me, is just keep creating, keep pushing through. Yeah, you're going to feel fear. Do it anyway. Yeah, there's going to be days you sleep in and you don't want to face this freaking world. I get it. I see it. I experience it. But do it anyway. And if you give yourself something to look forward to, like, what is it that I want to create today? There's been this divine practice of like pouring out your cup every day and emptying out, like, okay, who am I going to be today? I think there's a point in access consciousness for those that study access consciousness. It's like asking better questions, right? Without expecting the answer, without asking or answering the questions yourself, but asking better questions like, well, what creative force wants to come through me today? What magical beings can I meet today? Collective, Aquarius. Who's going to come into my field and my community that I can be of service to, that I can share my unique gifts and expressions with, that will want to tap in, that will want me to, and will pour into me abundantly just for being me. And so these are really divine questions. These are important questions to ask. And these are good follow-up, because we just got a big reveal on all this dissonance happening around us through media, through just listening to the stories, right? These gloom and doom bullshit frequencies. There is enough abundance to go around in this world. There really is. We just got to get out of our own way. We got to get into our hearts. We got to quit listening to outside. Be very diligent about what you're consuming with, through media, through your food, through your dietary choices. Drink fresh water. Get out in nature. Go get the sun codes as much as you can right now. Leo and the sun. It's giving your creative life force energy, if you can settle down the mind, the nervous system enough to accept, to tap into these frequencies, and to allow these creative expressions to come through you. And yeah, there's going to be fearful thoughts. It's okay to acknowledge them, but just don't live in them. Don't allow them to permeate your field or to envelop you. As much as you can, alchemize as much as you can. We are the ones we've been waiting for. We are the true creators of this realm. And we're not going to be creating on past frequencies, vibrations, energy patterns anymore. We're here to break that, Aquarius. We're here to do things different. You got to be it. You got to embody it. And so these are just points of reflection. If you're still processing fear, if you're still processing that prostitute energy within yourself, that you're fucking done doing things that don't feel good for money. Those are invitations to go out and say, okay, I know I need to earn, I need to generate this current, but what can I do it in a more fun, creative way, in a way that it invites in my own unique expression, that I get to be myself. And so this is an invitation to please create from your voice, from your frequency. And yeah, fear is going to come in, but alchemize it moment by moment, thought by thought, breath by breath. Alchemize the body, Virgo, through your routine. Make it your daily practice, moment by moment practice. That's what I'm finding to help me navigate these really uncertain currents, this big unknown, this big gaping unknown space in consciousness that I've never been to. But we have the power. We need to pull our resources together, our time together, join like-minded communities, join like-minded organizations who also will support you in your vision, and really discern within the body. If you're feeling anxiety, depression, ask why. Why am I depressed when I get up and go to work? Well, maybe that job's not for you anymore. Maybe there's something else calling you, and can you honor that calling? Can you have faith and step into that calling, not knowing how it's going to turn out? not knowing, security right now is going to be based on our creations, not on what we've done in the past, but what we're doing right now in the present. That's going to dictate our future. So if you find yourself hating that job and feeling angry that you have to keep being of service in ways that just no longer align with you, this is an invitation to stop that, to face those fears, to step into uncertainty, and to support yourself and others who are also on this path of creation and authentic expression. Because this is what we need right now. We need to change this vibrational pattern to this matrix. We're here. We're the ones we've been waiting for. So step into it. Do it courageously, Leo. Be brave. Step into the frequency of bravery, moment by moment, as much as you can. The battle is within, folks. The battle that we're seeing outside of us, those are poles. We're just seeing two opposing forces battling it out, and these opposing forces reside right here within the mind, within the right and left hemisphere. But get into that center point, right? That rainbow bridge, that corpus callosum right in the back of the neck. Use your essential oils. I've been using frankincense and all the tools as much as I can, magnesium spray to help calm my nervous system, alchemizing as much as I can that feels good in the body. That's a way to navigate this and to unite these hemispheres within. And that's where we're going to see more peaceful resolutions outside of us, more opportunities to generate abundance and currency in what we need to not only survive, but to thrive. To thrive, it's time for us to thrive. So thank you for tuning in to just this frequency, and check out the Live Zen Astrology page if you're interested. Also, I had mentioned progressions. There's an interesting, if you want me to look at your charts and where your planets have progressed to since you've been alive. That's also my offering that I do, because, just like we do, there's also an invitation to see how your chart has helped you evolve, and how maybe the shifts in your planetary energies are also affecting you in this now moment, and maybe pointing you towards the creations that want to come through you. But we got to break through that fear. We got to break through that prostitution energy, that feeling like we're enslaved to a system that's no longer sustainable. So we got to collapse those systems within. And this is also a point of reflection to look at your chart and see what that looks like. So reach out to me. I'd love to help in this way. And I love to generate abundance in this way. I'm going to be honest. This is what I want to do. This is my push to create and to generate currency from this creation, 100% donation basis. This is where I'm going. This is my agreement with myself, with the collective, giving you the option to honor your finances, but to also create this equal opportunity exchange of current, of energy, of pouring into each other so that we both feel empowered. All of us, we need that empowerment. We need to start within. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching. And just know that you're not alone. And if you're feeling any of these vibrations or frequencies, you're definitely not alone. Blessings to you guys. I love you. Thanks for watching.